Yes. Fancy my initiative. And your mommy was established yesterday night. One, Paris Saint-Germain are chairs so more overcome a certain tango be show for some years. And then I made emphasis on it, say, only one particular club are OP Timber, ye or free mupa in the second leg of the Champions League. I brought more take a 2-goal difference to the away game now. They say, and none pressure say, yeah, do. But I think, say, they handle the game so well. There are moments within the Champions League games that fancy the Maria. Sure? A very important at the any single team be about the Champions League.
Okay.
Oh, me who so be dominating an entire knockout round. I brought the opponent in the crowd the moment. For example, Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain were Paris. Paris bo game ni na. But Liverpool in a moment to be me moment no munya Liverpool this year say
1-0.
The return leg, the first 15 minutes to 20 minutes, Liverpool dominated most of the phases of the game too. A created chances, baby. But Paris Saint-Germain at the moment in our day. So the most important thing about the Champions League is about how you utilize your moment. There was a 15-minute period for Aston Villa, and then the season game ni BBR, they would have qualified. So 15 minutes period no. And a game ni be 2-2. E be 3-2. And Chebian yesadi Rashford film.
That change na as a fans in being say the manager ni Rashford the frame.
And Rashford is also having a very good record against Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. From the days at United. And I do maybe can Paris Saint-Germain for the believe say some more ton Kylian Mbappe.
So more for.
I was some more for Marcus Rashford deneba. And will grow into the game. Ama game na be seen beti, including Amadou Onana. I know you are free more. I know the Marco Asensio buy because he feels Asensio with the experience. Yes, it's true. But I strongly believe that Kobetima maintaining Asensio, Marcus Rashford, and even have Oli Watkins on the field.
Chasing game there.
If you're chasing the game, you need such a result. And the difference between how Luis Enrique a drew baby, a coach so drew baby, and some of the decisions he will not take at certain point. And I think Enra, one of the mistakes I will not Emery on the career in terms of taking that decision, and it shouldn't be happening again. And I do a dinner no. But I'm happy for Paris Saint-Germain. Say omo take the opportunity to overcome sa shackles na na show mo kon den no omo titim no mo de agu chen baby. But fancy the tactical game between Unai Emery and Luis Enrique and Ra top serious, top notch. I have seen Paris Saint-Germain midfielders control the game, dictate the pace of the game, and create from the middle of the park. But no more be in the game, the rotation among the three midfielders. Just say you could not even see Nipa no 6. So on your screens, you could see where Paris Saint-Germain players receive your passes. It's Fabian Ruiz, João Neves, Vitinha. Fancy, Fabian Ruiz are receiving most of passes, no? The left part of the pitch now. João Neves and Vitinha.
Also, no, dominant left, left-footed.
But João Neves and Vitinha, look at the number of times Omumi only decided when they drop it. You see the synergy and understanding between those two. It's only a matter of time because Omususa. Imagine someone ball who do 24-25. Fancy, they will be difficult to break down. And I think Adebakwa etimi boa Paris Saint-Germain pa no this thing can you retaliate on the camera kombe home pa including John McGinn. Fancy, John McGinn is not your extravagant talented player, but on the field of play I don't think any player ever more the level of commitment and energy he gives you on your skill full midfielder or far more than another for balls to be John McGinn. Yes sir. But yen carry ball no, yen tackle and fancy. Total carries 16. sixth in the whole game. You got 22 players no more free bench by ya. Omo carry ball na do pa no. John McGinn to so sit. Then Oba share a total progressive carries. You can carry the ball, but ane to be a carry now or carry no. And ya a progressive play. And fat ball no compo no any move bebre. But the total progressive play in this particular game, or the third best player in this particular game. Game my air ball someone in the belly with good carrier of the ball. Total progressive passes. Any carries or Hakimi. Or Nuno Mendes. In the same game, no, or Morgan Rogers. In the Aston Villa game, no, and I season near Aston Villa Dino, probably or carry ball or can be. And even progressive carries is there. But you have John McGinn bossing an European League with that numbers now. And I feel Matthias said the entire coach will be about team in free. Aside that, he recovers so well, he comes back so well, and will be defending. Because checking the total defensive actions, 11 among the 22 players who started the game, plus one free bench by or the sixth best player in terms of the total defensive actions, interceptions, tackling. Sanyo Mani, he has been there.
Wontumi 101.3
super performance, but I think there is a thin line between expectations and reality. And the expectations of Aston Villa was that he better qualify. But in Champions League, moments will always define what reality is. And then reality dawned on Aston Villa about Wontumi and qualify. Away from that game, I think say Oshe Borussia Dortmund FC Barcelona game now. And also be chere nyoma mienu bi. One, Barcelona is beatable. Number two, Barcelona will need to pick up the pieces as soon as possible in terms of momental toughness, especially playing in the knockout stages of the Champions League now.
Say, Anya Inter, Bayern.
Asem no.
Beshia Barcelona.
And Omono on transfer session 4. Now return leg no abetiti ahye no. Debi. Ano abetiti na ababeka actually debi. Ono ba bo two-legged ni na finchim pape. But me cite an example be my wenra about Barcelona left backs in your history. And I heard the way Rafinha was literally off without Alejandro Balde.
I said no coach no so ma Rafinha bar right and Lami Yama won't call left.
Because nipa no be complementary Rafinha and Gerard Martin only ho. It say we now full back no be complementing me and then switch. Tactics, just switch to get the best out of each other. Yamamu just to create something. But mistake we money be BM so about Arao and Kubasi as the centre back pair.
No, Martinez and so yellow card away from suspension.
They are aware, but money be BM money see BM. And on probably money fit because Tiasemo Kubasi in the Barcelona setup and on the left centre back. Inigo Martinez. Ama Kubasi the ball as the right centre back. Now we have Arao ball as the right centre back, and you Kubasi did about the left centre back role. And Omumi in terms of building from the back, Arao, he is not your perfect passer of the ball. Only ball pass gidi. Arao is aggressive, good tackler. You try to still so your police are 1v1 or better on my own court. But Barcelona built from the back. So on multiple occasions, you saw Frankie de Jong dropping deep in between the two centre backs, so nobody may initiate the build up from the back. And anytime you bring us up one, we don't want with a 3-back system. It's almost overcrowded the midfield. So 2 double number 10s and answer wingers no move inside. No, a press Frankie de Jong, then there will be trouble for Barcelona. It is a boss up pay will be more. Team be oppressive, be a any team be obe presibian or better
to me 101.3
and obeti you so Arao as the right back. Meaning the you lose the bar Barcelona no more use as a centre back. Because when you say Xavi there were some games that they used him as a centre back because he's so much comfortable on the board than Arao. It is a summer maker with pressing. She hit map near that screen is no. Once in fin in a yellow deep. Frankie de Jong because only the only player na Barcelona could initiate the build-up form. Tomu nyina good so na press and overcrowded that particular position. and I'm going to take Barcelona. I think within their shape and whatever they wanted to do, fancy, Enra a test for them to understand say omu team no, invincible. They could literally lose some games, but I think they will need to have their setup right going into the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Wo, mezi ameda se, ye share no matches ni yewie ya na yaba be share ene die na eba so se remontada ebe ye adwuma ewo ye Santiago Bernabeu ana se ba munchi nso be kwa akoye bi ewo San Siro ana. Mike.
Fancy, meda say yeah, started from what happened in Germany. You see,
Wontumi.
there is always the best time to lose. And at the right time, I mean you're the right.
Okay.
There is the right time to lose and then the wrong time to lose. Barcelona lost yesterday to end their 24-game unbeaten run at the right time. This was the right time they needed to lose.
Samu.
Yeah. What if I say game 1-0, 2-0, then Romu lose here, what would have happened?
As I still me fancy team ne.
Exactly. Now the first leg result, and my coaches know an opportunity to also try out certain things. Then see how they can go without certain players. So it was the right time to lose. A beer about our team now. There will be a kind of mental block. Barcelona are into the semi-finals for the first time in how many years? 6 years. Good. So that 6-year period, you know, Barca have suffered eliminations the Europa League 2 times. Barca against Man U, Barca against Eintracht Frankfurt. This same crop of players and Ameboa. So that 6-year period now, Barcelona Croyano have tasted humiliating results. Ebi Bayern 8 no be sure mo. Anameboa
8-2.
The last time Barca made the semi-finals after that 6-year period no, Barca tiomo nani omo 8.
Bayern.
Bayern tiomo nani omo 8. True or false? There is a certain mental block that prevented this team from getting to where they are supposed to get to. Check. Last season in the quarterfinals, Barca convincingly won the first leg against Paris Saint-Germain. Second leg, they collapsed. Mentally, psychologically, they folded. After that red card from Araujo, PSG took over. Meboa. Yeah. They needed to experience something like this. So it helped them to grow. Because as part of winning, you can't win every game. To be successful, you must lose some. It is only when you lose, then you learn the lessons from it. Na afe so se focus be wo trim na nka wo ye Lucia, you keep it intact. So it was the right time for Barca to lose because they will learn a lot from this and improve on their own game. Mentality wise, in terms of experience, players from about semi-finals of the Champions League nibida. Obebo Lewandowski, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Wambo Boni Biendra. Obono mujina pitch in no. Maybe you would have to look at Frankie de Jong. Oshe de Jong then what about Lewandowski? Apart from Omono Menkai Obia or what Barca team numa Andrew Obobia, what about Champions League semi-final that? Dani came off the bench or experience at the semi-final stage because of Leipzig. Anameboa. Marc-Andre ter Stegen squad no crowd and no count. Then maybe Andreas Christensen also Ambobi. So in this talented Barcelona squad, only 5 of them have Champions League experience at the semi-final stage. The team they are there, but they are not matured yet in the context of this competition. And they need results like this to mature. Maturity does not come from saying you're good in Kwa. At times, when things go bad, your ability to bounce back, find character, recover, it also shows how mature you are. And Barca in the knockout stages this season, games were no marble. Before Dortmund, which other team did they face? Benfica. Excuse me to say, but these are opponents relatively on paper, no? I was a Barca yo muhujuman tentem anameboa. Good. But what is the next test? There is a potential Bayern or Inter Milan. And send your wusi bonus if you don't toughen up, one for beyond fan can't a the next stage now, so that is why they needed that result and they needed that performance and so one can dressing room a coach Nejumani full. You don't just need the coach to come and tell Araujo, say you had, excuse me to say, a shitty day. No, you don't. Who play an anchor? I'll call red dressing room and I shall put in our bench. Lami am I anything whatever? Who need him in? Yeah, they felt so bad, and they need to enter the dressing room, do an inquisition. Among say an introspection. Bise Charlie ended the media gupon Rafinha.
To me, 101.
Now you see me magic ballon do on a Macobo board Trocasano. A 23. The next stage you're doing semi-finals.
Yes.
What do you think they will come up with? They'll come different. So maybe, to me, may kind of say a blessing in disguise, but a yes, Senesa, Sebasa, Lucy, and Ragame, no. The confidence was raising. Na a more musu any pa, no maybe a was still or more twice no ye. Now their confidence has been dented. The ability to bounce back would define whether they have character or they don't have character. So it was good Barca loss for say who grassi your consumer no one a boy hina. So one ya attempt na anke hina nke mbo. Baso wa mbo hina no sanso di nsuo ne ba na bibia ye intact ayebo na baso. In the first leg, no yomu kumfu dumfo. He killed them in the first leg. He had very clear chances to score. Even Endra, Grassi, before so be penalty, he had chances. He was slipping. The occurrence you don't want the boy, but I'm happy for him. Even among the Dortmund faithfuls, after first leg, no, almost started born say my players, that was when they signed off, say, Omon qualify. Exactly. Yeah. But they needed to give the fans something. Donna fans ne trade my players. And the players also needed to give them something back. And they made them feel and enjoy European nights again. Dortmund nanko and share Barca down. And right in the first win. I was so much sure almost I don't know. Oh, you lose you stood behind us. And to say ya banner mu na mo chwe our ha. Yes, so your bad mama performance money bet home. And Gurasi, at the heart of it, makes it all brilliant. The first African player to net a hat-trick against Barcelona. And Tainsi.
And 5 goals in a single campaign.
Lightning does not strike
Barca.
twice. It is beautiful. So it means adieno. There me yan say age awe dino. Rebe ne last straw. Ewo Europe. This will be his last straw. Oh nya diegidi bia. Because when I know no beba come Madrid and now unless Eric Chupo Moting.
Yeah.
But on your Maxim Chupo Moting and no. On an agent in the finding the top clubs any moment. But when on the age, it is perceived that Dortmund or Beboni bear 2 years ago. We were at 31. It's African strikers here and Tomo 30. This may be a free agent, be a pioneer agent, a powerful no working deal for him. But I'm happy that he's also enjoying the limelight. Wabre. Into baby our bedroom se effort so on Aston Villa you see the two sides of football, control versus chaos. Enrique's football thrives in control, a controlled environment no mom ne dictators and the perfect way of control was when they controlled the game and then took that 2-0 lead. This PSG team, they can play a possessive-oriented game, but they can also be very direct. More passes better than Crano or attack you. To check their first goal, check their second goal. They do not even comb 8 passes together. Direct. They are multi-dimensional. Very talented. Born in the ball. And Enrique's use of the fullbacks in here beautiful. And the understanding within this team, and it's our positional intelligence in terms of their movement and the fluidity in terms of their play. One another can synergy. I think Akomiawa, they are very intelligent. The dangerous aspect of this PSG team, and your bono, but the player movement, the dangerous aspect of them. Born if you're winning Pia, but send your players need to making movement on the pitch, and the more who so at one point, look at how it's here. Kvaratskhelia all right, the next instance our left, Barcola all right, the next instance our left. We hear no free more. Nuno Mendes a left back. The next instance, or when him or boss strikers role, no ashe go. Hashan Hakimi a right back. The next instance, or when him or no chance or babeshe. After say keeper a pull ball by keeper pull ball by behind the draw. A attack midfielder na. Hakimi or a attack midfielder. Entire no bedroom to me, yes, sir. So the positional intelligence of this PSG team and a more dangerous asset, a more dangerous weapon. A movement, everything. So they will make it difficult for every setup to defend against them. Last week na Newton Baye, Dembele, the Oya or the train power tourist free mo, Emma Koraskeli are going to buy Newton Meboa. Is it not the same positional intelligence? Oma Bing. And when they control the game, they're able to do this better. So the only way of unsettling them and not making them enjoy their game near the end, chaos. And Aston Villa found a window of opportunity to plant chaos in the game. PSG for no more to die. After scoring 2, they thought, first half in the year, and that moment they allowed Aston Villa to get that 2-1 to take it to halftime. No, only the it built the belief of the Aston Villa team. And it's an half timer. I am not coach is tired. Juma ye per half time. The any the koye no CC. The any the koye no half time no nya enough time because how many 15 minutes. So you talk to your players. So that moment, it helped Emery. So I'm finding your man to 2 years before Aston Villa pledged in that 15 minutes. But Rashford no more game debut.
101.3.
Rashford is a momentary player. Momentum. On your player dominated throughout. He was not Aston Villa's best player. Cry no count. Momentum in the befano. I saw Coma TSC also. Then the momentum ni be rano. And I love their part he played in Omoted Go as concert. But the point remains that it was Emery's brain. Emery na draino. And no the chaos in the game. So it unsettled PSG. They were static in their movement. Hey, Nuno Mendes, me na me bought in Menka. Hakimi, me na me bought in Menka. And the moment that thing came on board, it helped Villa much more than it helped Paris Saint-Germain. But Enrique and the boys never suya the fremo. I love the fact that 2 teams or more from Europe and Romulusuye. Some come here didn't about PSG near a year Barca. But they lost yesterday. Onim de echiromo. Bon yembom ye yensiem ye yenyem ye. So we can never afford to get complacent. And the better lesson or the best lesson they can learn ahead of the semi-finals. So at times you learn more in losing than winning. And that is the episodes of Barcelona and then Paris Saint-Germain.
Whoa. Medase Mike, yeba ene matches no so udru aye San Siro. Inter Milan ba Munchen ana afi Bernabeu ana Real Madrid Arsenal enioma de Madrid fire bi pa but ene mo fanche na enioma ye bibia from the start. New yembra fe enko Bernabeu straight.
Yo, I love the fact that making command no wodi baby na obesame yaponi nyina na o ya ka bibi akosisi se most of Champions League ba edu baby e patim no ababo ne ye. The first leg has always been important. Of course na busa ne say ade na Barca lose here, PSG lose here, yet o na progress. Omienu nyina lose yet o na progress. Meaning say omo progression no ewo a tail from the first leg na edeba. Me the san common no TSC Arsenal game no so. Madrid akofre God. Madrid akofre abosumo Madrid nyina. Ancelotti afrede na nankanso ano mu nyina kasa. Ono mo kasa no nsamafo nyina so bebe fie next week ba beboa. Na Mikel Arteta de oni nsamafo hono mo ana. Mikel Arteta de oni nsamafo ana. Ena twemani ekogu nsanra. Na twemani gu nsana ibosum kase owu 1862 pie. Ena so twemani nka na komanto ne yam awurade ya bre.
Ala bukwala we spiritus.
Ateta kra. Anioma. So I started from Richard Dortmund game now. I've been one person I follow Barcelona team for a long time. As a fan, but they are not too honorable. But as a young coach, every time I make sure ball, sometimes obi oni mi bia no nim say me could do even baby e kind of feature crowd bar me timi gina ho e serious na me hwe de nkra na ye no. I love this game to an extent say be details be a cost of field no so a ya na e matter e ma me pa. Champions League knockout phases no yawo ade a wontumi nsesa na say your both games no free the first leg no na deba.
Okay.
Champions League no you do knockout phases no you bought 2 games no about 70% a free first leg no near the aba abe boss second leg in the area we are making so not going a game of best in the midfielder and arguably one of the best players in form in the game right now. Why would Barcelona go in a game or bench the best central defender when you're available, not on suspension, not on injury? When you're available, say, coach, my ready, my warm up. We coach say, no, me start to. Why would you do that? Yes, he lost Baldi to injury, but I'll come to that topic. But the best double pivot partnership for Barcelona this season, and yet Gavi and then Frankie de Jong. It has to be Pedri and then Frankie after the expiration of Casado partnership with Pedrino. Frankie de Jong had to take over. So why would a coach first of all collapse in the system from midfield to defense? Now, in order to expand this argument, Barcelona bought game not run out of first leg, Number 2, this is a club. Make you cry on the player or remind them. You said some about 7 games in 19 days or so.
19 days, about 7 games.
Oh my bro.
Which places a lot of toll on the squad. Now, side game whatever it is, Barcelona qualify for the first time in 6 years. And no more post here. You are there Chima Junior course on the say. Football series. And they said I will share Indian movie. Now I share series 1, 2. Now one messy piece in the bio movie na say. Every football club, you have an era about Tiashe, you have an era over sorry about Bijina one so. Unfortunately, some of the clubs in the be sorry be do sorry. Yaw. Want to me what quotation want to me sama back bio. Clubs baby oh. I want to share. I want to be sama back bio. You look Benfica at some point, not all your dominant force in European football. Aston Villa uhunini, Nottingham Forest. Some of the clubs will be in team A time and some back cry. So after Pep, after Luis Enrique, the success was so massive for Barcelona fans and the club. No? But yeah, right after that, success not faded off. Plan faded off, including Vinci Kasem, thereby losing the greatest ever player club at it. All down to financial irregularities and stuff. Club not yet from how to come back, very difficult. You come back in terms of finances. Our bro, we are part of the elite games, the Champions League, oh boy, yes, a group stages, oh boy, actually. It's in real time on Barca for a Barca game, no Dortmund phone, pa camera record on one Laporta so. Oh, anyone who said no, Papa, and do a for Barcelona to go deep down in this massacre financially. Now you almost rising back about the top 4 in Europe. No. At some point, Barcelona bought Europa League. Me can't ya share come your crying. Say Manchester shegu kra no aya. Ombesa hye de aba. Nti yiri na so mo yirom ho. Enkachi. Barca pan ba last 4 Champions League. Me can't ya share come your crying.
Since 2019.
Me can't ya share come your crying. Yeah. Ne Manchester fans 80 mo opani
Champions League and they are saying now that 6 year period now Barca out and Chelsea have won the Champions League. What have you won in Europe? What was the last time you won an European trophy? Last 20 years, you had 2 Champions League titles. You had Europa League, you had Super Cup, Club World Cup. What was the last time I'm a Club World Cup? UEFA Super Cup, Club Bicha.
So, yo,
think about yourself.
And it's a big moment for Barcelona fans. Now the individuals within the game first of all, Baldi are undisputed. Now Jared Martin the baby will be on in no. David Odro baby also should be an also because I line now so now when I'm left back what they can't say. Aziz who ba kire no Barcelona because number 10 position no a prime zone the Mabasa for pa but left back no de omo to be confer bi crowd outside ba enti say oduro yire no ho kwa de benya bia bo and Gerard Martin performance was way below a level as so ball at the Barcelona floor, but that was it. It places more importance on Baldi because in your absence and importance and you feel it, and it has been real. Baldi in Barcelona for Feno. And you press our friend say Rafinha or Safi Baldi pa because anytime we take you off on a Baldi in the connection with Rafinha, how in the ball line or so. The chemistry the two players have built, similar to the Kunde and Lami Yama, so I built on the other side. But no, Jared Martin was so poor. Away from Jared Martin, no, I told you the other day, say Aroho may find and cut top 5 central defenders who we are so.
So Mom say on fitty flick a system no.
Apart from system, no, you know, as an individual, the concentration awareness, our form pa or your marking our form. Now, dear man who are roho and say every time a game no was sort of pano. No, yeah, little mistakes. Then the man for crash or cast on fit into manager and system. They say the manager wants any of the two central defenders, you know. So let me build a ball no about with much comfortability. But body be dear roho and hope. Now me catch them Mickey and pay. Me coach be catch them a chepa and I say. I say in the process of perfection,
yes,
there's no room for average. Tamana Barcelona team no a war from na sebe a hochire wo no na Rojo was the best central defender. I say Kubase and Martinez amana ho ato ho no. But I have that hope say Jonathan Ta later no meet me attract no. Yo, mama fa that game ni so na me more Sergio Gracia Basoka Krebi or I've been saying say on the African continent top. Say Africa no Simen ya can number 9 mu number 9 me ka Tony Abu amode ni bi no. Enye number 9 no dwane koten nchencha afi no dimika by inside asem. A typical center forward ni ti adwuma pa. Onya fam so to me place Sergio Gracia. On the African continent, I probably felt that Osimhen is the name to go for on any day. But this guy is coming thick and fast. Sergio Gracia. And no announce on, you know, to have a hat-trick against no other club like Barcelona. No, I make like I say, ya on nakra. Ya on nanra. On nanra. And he's from Guinea. Last season, or ya Juma Pad Mastuga, and Dortmund Kofana. Champions League stage we say we have hat trick now. I am sure only to Osimhen who's a CID and yes because Osimhen a champion with Naples for no, but we say no on one individual no nya Lawrence and Dortmund Kofano. But in terms of the two individuals and there, yeah, on also so Obapa Villa ne Villa ne PSG game no. One game back me who say coach is a to be any who no. Who in a team my acquire errors and I fans and I say enka or starting way enka. In a Champions League, analysis do one your friend situational analysis. Situational, circumstantial. BB and I BB and say that BB chrono. Aston Villa every time I catch us a system now you know I'm building a 4-2-3-1. Now 4-2-3-1 no. If you 2 near corner the changes no a more power. Na two no to the bia elements are the constant key denominator no do bia babeka no it could be margin sometimes but so be who say or Bob Bubaka Kamara any Amadu na mienu in front of the set the back four no there very difficult and I me call machi me shake games our boy tia Spurs me shake the obotia Chelsea me shake the on Liverpool ball 2-2 the formation systems ni nyina no ya clearly a very, very flexible double pivot. Jerry Telemans with Boubacar Kamara. Either say Jerry Telemans and Amadou Onana. And this is it. This is the lineup of body Tia Aston Villa. And double pivot to Nana Meka Wasemino. Telemans and John McGinn, the captain, or me in the board double pivot. Right in front of the back line. Then the next game, either Liverpool or Chelsea game, no Benya dia Toswa. Once a double pivot to know a different. And the manager in his concept, the double pivot to know a Germany. one has to stay, one has to be a ball progressor. Obetimi connecting to the final third. Onimbo ne pass obetimi asa create. Meaning say one, Oma ehu bi amona, and even against almighty Liverpool and down a slot, because so many form year pa having a typical 4-man method to be a Jones Babishim, McAllister, Gravenberch, Soboslai. Now you for no just Salah Diego Jota other two. Yet this manager or the Magen and Telemann said the court boy for Aston Villa. Yeah, Osaso Botutu. Now go to the next lineup against Chelsea. So make Spurs, make Liverpool, and then make Chelsea. All big clubs in England, all very much attacking sides. But Unai Emery as a manager, the double pivot has always been a pivot because he loves to have a very much stronger control in the final third. But the last time I bought Amadou Onana and Abubakar Kamara was way back December against Manchester City. Lineup on the PH the boy, we bought the same lineup on way back in December, with the exception of John Duran or the final third. So watch this lineup. Obomatikash, Konsa, Paul Torres, Lucas Dean, Onana Kamara, double pivot on the one, and John Magen, all right side of the attack, Telemans, Morgan Rogers, and then Rashford. Line up with the best Bakope, Rashford, our Babishim, and John Duran. So, and now, manager when the lineup pro body tier PH, but the same lineup with the exception of Rashford and John Duran, and the tier Man City way back in December. So check Man City and then check PSG. Two similar Spanish managers. Among one managers or respect or both typical says for me, Apart from that, and the Slotto, Maresca, whichever coach be Obebiano, Ubim no abono. The big game no basso.
Young Kunyansa, you real not in a Baba. Not in Rihanna, Yababe share and the matches or Honey Bay. General Arsenal for any brepa masa and the Remarine for some better to say Bruno.
First of all, I will never change my stance on the fact that I've said say Arsenal will qualify ahead of Real Madrid. Let me establish that fact well. Me and I'm in Suradi and a new Semetina has a catch us Arsenal will qualify ahead of Real Madrid. I don't care. But the entire I make a story and some natural money say in the last 3 seasons, in 2021-22, I know cars has them me. Because before that, nothing about the quarter Sama Real Madrid, I think Paris Saint-Germain. As I know Marco City in the semi-final, as I know what they call the final against Liverpool, show 1-0. Or from Nambuza as a quite mention Real Madrid because of team no in the league we know they are getting results, but in the Champions League they look quite poor. I don't see there be Real Madrid ne Barcelona game no. So Barcelona share Real Madrid by 4 goal difference. Me from to me team say Real Madrid by the Champions League no. Same way, Abu Dhabi name dancing because also na me tiny ne call if na sa call the year day. Bye. It's Barcelona share Real Madrid 4-0 because the whole season Real Madrid had not lost a single game at the Santiago Bernabeu when it comes to the league. And Barcelona share Real Madrid by 4-0. That was the only game Real Madrid lost in the league at the Bernabeu. I'm not sure Real Madrid by the Champions League. I feel what can I say there be assembly and Real Madrid will win the Champions League. It's Paris Saint-Germain every day. I think the first leg against Real Madrid. Real Madrid be dane any or Bernabeu. And City share Real Madrid by 4-3. First leg. And the return leg, Ombe lead by 2-0 be a Rad Mahrez. It's a go. And some later on.
Don't comebacks in the year.
Comebacks in the year.
Chelsea so bad.
And Chelsea so bad. It will steady here. The first leg of the knockout stages from the quarterfinal and the corner round of 16. Now Madrid first leg.
Eddie can go home.
Wait. Okoswa.
Losing.
Obahoma.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid the Champions League. Fast forward, in 22-23, Real Madrid lost various home games in the La Liga. And it was clear. But Yamere 23-24, Real Madrid the Champions League no almost La Liga. Real Madrid lose to Timbe.
Real Madrid lost only one game. Now against one Atletico de Madrid. Beboa. Copa del Rey no almost lose to Atletico de Madrid. The man told me the same thing against Real Madrid will win the Champions League. So we lose to Atletico Madrid.
And I win so they no catch you.
Fancy. A more thing. Real Madrid cannot win the Champions League.
The same person and a catch.
They say Real Madrid cannot win the Champions League. They won't win the Champions League after we. What are the results of this game? What are the results? Say be Arsenal Bayway and Arsenal Bayway. What am I say? The only thing you told me point blank, they say after Real Madrid will not win the Champions League. Debbie. Real Madrid will not win the Champions League. Me obi a megenio medi. Ana obi frame ta kan se bi kire me ana to bi nyani nyina na megidi. Se bi me e badwen ba. Me de kwa adwen mu na ma ye dey. Ba okato aso 2 na esi 2 na I was like ada ni pay ni dey na Real Madrid ye ne soronko a. E ma Real Madrid timi sacrifice. O se Real Madrid sacrifices do mo ye ne yehu. De e dey injury no. Real Madrid sacrificed their game against Barcelona. They sacrificed their game against Atletico Madrid to win the Champions League.
Then obi lose eno. No,
because that season no new teha. First leg no man say 2-1. Buso obi say we asem nyina say one and another adwen ne say Barcelona be Real Madrid sa game no. Memphis the pay money payment go stage Real Madrid and team qualify for Barcelona team qualify out of the group in the Champions League. Sa season na Madrid forecast say some Barca for no em say they be almost 5 safu we and some 5 ni bia. Look at how that game Barcelona won it. Barcelona more here more counter attack na Obama yanga bobo na to net. Na ko Atletico Madrid game no share Real Madrid by 3-1 no. Na goals e PM in that particular season against Real Madrid. Na ko Copa del Rey no goals e City fast so buy.
Wontumi 101.3.
Fancy. And the supporters ne say Oma ko Real Madrid wo Marcelino Santa Maria Street. And here Ultra for no penifone woman it and na one more tighten po na chi no. Na Papa Marcelino ya e ka no ho asem no. I didn't din be 2 street ni so no. Obi Spain anka so mo drodro ye portrait no. Obi enu no ya de chen no. But Adiba kwa na man dem sunko ne say no ye very religious. It is from the Borgias Cathedral. More or less like Catholic churches na mu edu na mu adin ni bi no. Eho ene tete papa ni free. Ono kwa de kwa be artisan kwampo akomuji tumi se ko be father. Iti say de ni to street bi so to ba bia omo believe say a good omen and answer oyo obi an empire bokosoro. And besides, ko ye saint kra na nke fe no mane ye yakebe yi. Iti anytime Real Madrid won match emu adin bia no eho no mu share Real Madrid team bass no.
Marceliano no.
Eho. No mo so mo ko. Ba fancy. Ye can for Real Madrid. Ye can send bebre de Real Madrid. But ye hwa de bi kakra. Oko Spain a ye will be Order of Isabella the Catholic. Na Order of Isabella the Catholic no. Omo more or less no mo ye 3 preeminent orders of merit with Spain. Me no e ka won no. Order of Charles III. Order of Civil Merit. And no, he established it in 1926, and he established the Order of Charles III in 1771. Now, in Chebia Mikel Arteta, in that particular knighthood, no, Nipa is considered as the Grand Master, the King of Spain. It is in Chebia Mikel Arteta, or more friend, no, a bono, sa particular basobody, no. Or the order of the knighthood.
As any international break.
Yeah, international break now.
And I take a course.
And I take a call back.
Because the King of Spain, say induction, man.
It is spiritually. Real Madrid is strong there, but you're also coming up against somebody who's also strong. Fancy. A bad tactics are Real Madrid into me Moasna. Many new team. Me Real Madrid own team Moasna tactically. This season it shows clear. Real Madrid are prone to mistakes at their backline to they concede. And your mommy and son Arsenal they share Real Madrid set pieces. Individual errors at the back line for Real Madrid. And at the level of confidence in how Wontumi controlling the game. Sound your mommy and son way. A move back open Real Madrid bet me year free. Controlling of the game. Controlling of the game the crown. Real Madrid ain't team control game way 90 minutes against Arsenal. They can't. Real Madrid is a team of movement. It's the first 15 minutes of the first half, second 15 minutes of the first half, then what? Second half, the same thing, first and last. It's
so maybe first 15 minutes, our first half.
Real Madrid will love to control, and at the last 15 minutes of the same thing.
So you have first 15 minutes, Madrid.
Madrid. They will press.
And from 30, it goes to 45.
They will come in again because almost all the goal
45 to be 60. Madrid, yeah. Now 75 to 90.
But in between, no. A one and a chrome near Semino. A one Real Madrid bet me a concede goals, no. Fancy. And Koma Yedi, any baby, and then Namni and the identity. And the quality of results are Real Madrid air share so mon sabeti miaka. And they free this particular encounter. When it comes to tactics, I believe the only way Real Madrid can beat Arsenal is to make sure some movement in the capital, but more capitalizing on so almost a few minutes in them. No, or Mutimika some concede. They'll go all out. Arsenal nishi lusu. When it comes to individual quality, Real Madrid will individual quality. So we are top. But as a team, I don't think say Arsenal no. The only way Real Madrid can qualify against Arsenal and Madrid. By say Omunio money be no America can once and but no economy who how it will happen.
So Madrid and qualify.
Fancy game no did not do so near who na do so.
I remember mu be one more Twitter handle na make say X handle almost say Google Translate and translate 90 minutes at the Banabao long and call other language.
Fancy. I have seen Arsenal against City. I have seen Arsenal against Liverpool. I've seen Arsenal against Inter Milan. But here Arsenal against Paris Saint-Germain.
I feel my ball Champions League.
Fancy, it is not a joke. Team I bought 79 games on conceded 3+ goals. 2+ in first time. I know there's always a first time. No, because for send me by. I said there's also a first time for Arsenal to also eliminate. But Fancy, in the history of the Champions League, the only one of the clubs are go for born to Martin Arsenal. In 2006, en route to the final of the Champions League, Arsenal able goal almost Real Madrid from Bernabeu and Emirates. Real Madrid is the best club in the world when it comes to the Champions League. No doubt about it. But it told be a moment far assembling to baby assembly that. Me fa who emmening kase me medical kase say me Mrs. Obian time obia.
Okay.
Obian time obia. Ono na ke kose 3-0 la kobeka so be fi ba be she no.
Whoa, Mike.
Fancy, better say to start with on this same Madrid game, you see, you can 90 minutes, but the 90 minutes won't decide this game. A moment. And the moment can be in an 11-minute spurt. Game no corner 11 minutes. It means it's not the dimensions of this game. It is about there or making the moment not counting. So that is what I would love to speak to. I think that this is a game Madrid need Couture more than any other individual. Or from 3. Because we say another. Or from me and Sanameboa. Good. But they need Couture in this game more than any other game on Mobile Champions League.
I didn't see her.
Good. Madrid they keep it just 1 clean sheet in this competition. And that was by Couture. And that was a game against Stade Brest. Home games are in our concede. 1 concede cry back. Milan question me answer. Red Bull Salzburg a share back. Anameboa. Stuttgart share back. Dortmund share me. So Madrid any home games were bonina. Man City cry Diego Shebi. Atletico Madrid share back. So at home they've not kept a clean sheet, and this is a game they need a clean sheet to better their chances. They can't engage into a high tempo, high scoring encounter with Arsenal because opponents now are in a Kobono. Defensively are solid. They won't guarantee you many quality chances. So this is a night Madrid need to be clinical. But again, you need to shut shop at the back and make sure you keep a clean sheet. Crucial. That is why they need Couture most in this game than any other individual.
First leg,
Mbappe more, Vini Junior more, Rodrigo more, but omo here Couture o game we seen obia. And I said this on Sporty and Anopa. Yeah, morning show me kind. They need Couture in this game more than anybody. He's the goalkeeper with the second most saves, 48 in this season's competition. Yeah. But on know what that fewer games than the other row in Emi Martinez. So you get the difference. Difference wom kesiye pa. Emi Martinez now a 51 saves. I stand to be corrected. Where a 48, but and ono them no. Again, his goal prevention in the Champions League in 11 games, a 3.77, a ranks top 3 amongst goalkeepers in the competition. Or more new or compete for goals prevented by saves, you know. Or more in other minutes, that was in other matches, that was saying. He's an elite goalkeeper or a Champions League standard. And a night where Madrid need to prolong their Champions League stay, they need their best Champions League performer in recent times to come in. Champions League titles now Madrid are you will see attackers are Obia showing a brilliance. Even last season, Vini was not the main man. He was one of the main guys. Madrid Champions League last season. Vini, not a one of the main guys. He wasn't the main guy. Then the season, the next one they won, in between Man City, it was Benzema. He was the main guy in attack. But the constant here has been Couture. Champions League titles now, Ancelotti Agini, the constant who has actually helped their case, Thibaut Couture. He is their most important player, and he needs to be their most important player this evening to help their cause. We only free Mbappe, and they are Bonnie Dean. Kwani free Paris Saint-Germain or Shabo Mobo F. It's true. Last season he helped them to the semi-finals, but I could see saying. But then we are comfortably discussing the positional intelligence of this PSG team, how fluid they are, and the teamwork. Meboa. And Mbappe neba Madrid. Na di anke nya Madrid na semi-finals yanko mo double money anko mbeko. But they are struggling in there.
And that is the conversation about France. So that's what in the Champions League in a draw.
Good. So he needs to step up in this game.
Wontumi.
Madrid no. So far, game back open watches Sampa, he truly belongs. And it happened at the Bernabeu against Manchester City. Saha trick, no. He needs such a performance. And they need him. Crucial. So sad two players way. And I'm Madrid Shabre almost. Yeah. But me, I want to disagree with Newton Yakomia. Say ye timba kwa or sit sanyo mem DNC da obeyebi me yeka aye biafwa. It is this Real Madrid team. Arsenal have done everything they are supposed to do. But at times, doing everything you are supposed to do, no, it is not enough to kill off Real Madrid. Kaya 4-0. Come on, better now to you for
Hey, train across still.
I'm coming. Kaya 4-0, 3-0 in the Champions League. And you who's out. Maybe I'm on here. 4-0 is good enough. But 3-0 in the Champions League, fancy. And you who's out. It makes the task difficult, but a man unsurmountable. So you won't mean yentra, Debbie, or Bebrebe Batra, and teams of Mutimi Botrano. He been in Madrid. So to me, I still think this game, although Arsenal are favorite, a game me game where you found the tactics anyway. It is a moment in the way decided. Opa ko excellent formation tactics, BBR. This game will not follow such a trend. Unless Madrid for they don't come to the party, or man, yes, or Mubabebo. But if they come, there are certain things I expect to see. The demeanor of the Madrid players in the dark tunnel before somebody walk about pitch in the Subako. Yes, starting game now, they obey foul first. And no see another one I want to see. Yamu bet no more lining up near about Champions League anthem now. Me person me Madrid players name. If they will qualify, I will know. Trust me, fans. This Arsenal team, they are a very good team like they showed in the first leg. But away from home on a night like this, they've never experienced it before.
Yeah. Because
and even in their home game, they suffered fright. And check how they took their leads. First goal, second goal. Check it quite fast so by. They needed a moment of perfection. Lightning does not strike twice. But it struck for them in Declan Rice free kicks, They can't repeat another perfect moment. They needed a moment of perfection to defeat Madrid. They can't perfect a perfect moment or repeat a perfect moment again. So game, Arsenal are favorites, 60, Oma qualify. Barca 14 akano. Emu do Madrid in same thing Arsenal there. And I'm telling you, this game can even progress to extra time. Me say 3-0 enye husa. 3-0 enye husa.
Wontumi.
3-0 enye husa. The dynamics of the 2006 and then yakwashe omo benabon. No. That Arsenal team had character. This team, they are now forging that character. On a typical Champions League night, El Benabao, I will not want to devalue Madrid and how significant they can be on such a night. I think this game is open. Madrid your favorite, Arsenal your favorite, but it's open. It might proceed to extra time, and it could be anybody's game when it gets there.
So Madrid enya Thibaut Courtois.
Mese Couture and Mbappe, they are the two most important players. Game we mu and there.
Okay.
To Inter ne Bayern there no, atani ata. Bayern idea we interfere. Inter idea we Bayern fee. History has it. 88 UEFA Cup. Bayern kwashe Inter 3-1. Then in 2006, Champions League, Bayern kokocha Inter again. Then in 2011, Bayern kwashe Inter. The last one, 2022, Bayern kwashe Inter. But they are not the underlying feature of all these results. Amabono. And your coach is now normal doman. So in 88, it was your Heynckes. In 2006, Felix Magath. In 2011, Louis van Gaal. In 2022, William Nagelsmann. Coach is here, my boy. Or more a tier above Vincent. They are not buying here or to question Inter was and zero. No, they don't have it now. One, the squad. Two, the technical team. Technical team, they are so inexperienced at this stage to fashion something out. And Bayern players, they have individual qualities, but as a team, they are facing one of the strongest teams you can face in Europe. And they have a coach who has also mastered his art to become the best in his country. And that is Simone Inzaghi. So, aside Bayern's fine history in terms of playing at the San Siro against Inter Milan, the Omuhian in Prempe no Muni. One, they are never shaping game way. The laterals. Baby, I Inter, I am the strength, the stronghold, no. I am Bayern Sinto. Bayern on left back, right back positions, and even their right channels and their left channels. Send you to the kind of right channel, left channel. Your weakness. Defensively, Conrad Lima ain't not support no Benyan if Leroy Sané plays as a right winger. Good. Then the other left winger, he will not support whoever plays as a left back. Sequoia, Rafael Guerrero, and Asamoah. Now Inter and how intelligently they use their left and right channels, it is as an art of beauty. In the first leg, it was Carlos Augusto. Carlos Augusto is a deputy left wing back at Inter Milan, but the squad depth and the quality depth into and Augusto, anyhow he played a role in those goals. Not as a left wing back. He was as a winger. Now Bastoni not drift a left wing back. Echo right were the same thing. Damian Obet driftia ko winger. Nadia Obo right center back. Pavada wakoye right wing back. The same thing I said about PSG. Positional intelligence Inter for no will be, and they have it in abundance. How they use their laterals, the left and the right channels. Bayern and him you see. And again, Bayern's strength is in their creativity, especially in the central areas. And also, again, a strength for Inter. Michael Olise, Musiala there says he YSB Mobi Anamewa. Good. So take creativity in the free Bayern team name. But all the Ben fin wa. So Inter midfield no. If I'm speaking to balance, yet now above Vitinha, Fabien Ruiz in the way Mabasua. I think Yambo Inter for Basu because they complement each other. And their midfield is their engine. One, the role they play in the build-up. Chahanoglu drop Pico Echire. No, I call 3 center backs, now I can't take wings. No, I started build-up. No. And Kabaya or midfield or more balance. And were enough to try and then regain possession from a pressure. And come over here Inter, but Omonibi. Kemek anyway. Good. Goreska. So to me, history in favor Bayern. History favors them. But the Canadian history in Bemono. Bayern don't have it. And that is why I think Inter will carry on and then improve on a more way or more against Omone Bayern and qualify to the next stage. This is the Oma consider one goal of it.
And is serious. Real Madrid is serious. Hey, almost Arsenal for an dream. You live in a bush can show it be a sack. I feel my bread sack me. I feel we can't let it across bread. Your game in 90 minutes. The day you're honing in none of the didn't be Rafael and so. There are game and there are platforms. In terms of this game, I am discussing football now. Every stage I will be apart from talent in our one. I say, "Come and what you do team? I am prepared and ready to face whatever comes up." I was our stage in our dream. Thomas Partey in the highest stage of our body. Mbappe in the highest stage in the Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, David Raya. A true stage where we be facing Real Madrid. I won't go level I could do be a friend of say in the Aba. So Madrid for not upon Koso ye kokon and then we whatever it is 90 minutes. Now Mikel Arteta have been surprised said that I don't my bonten cram a Sentia Ancelotti any pressure in free place so. And the money who said can be a mind game, can be a Jose B no I can't. It's so be the Ancelotti at time fetch me choose Sabasan and person so I can't like some may chew. Yes, now I show Ancelotti so. National place in your coin arrested. Okay. Now no manager no or shoulder blame ne the pressure responsibility be baby. Also noise no. Wontumi stop noise ne free outside there but ombe you talking. Our pitch so. Game no and no me can want some say the 20-minute factor no will be I can want some no me I also agree. I agree say the first 20 minutes of the game no e be was say in the rest of the minute so. No mom e beti ya call the Arsenal for beti ya call the Real Madrid for. And then when me busa say oh, what if Madrid had the first goal, first 20 minutes? Yes, it is true. The origin be a best scare Madrid for. A best scare me. I'm here pundit. I'm very far distant. If you're born, a best scare me. A best scare ya. I'm confident. National first goal. BBS sir. It would really scare the place. But then and say, now so first minute, you know, corner ba no more permitted. 4 goals in Madrid. Babete. How would the journey be? Let's say Metuasia Madrid press beyond the early first goal no. I was almost at home actually once a year.
Who he has to go now? No, oh, Prakosha first goal, and no consider first goal. Madrid did not. The first goal, no Makwanu 1 mount, and Makwanu 1 mount to get because first goal no as action what mentally could see 3 now the cash or so. Now 4. Even though you are thinking it's first goal, remember confidence, but that is when you score. Way a situational. Nemum said, go na and see the first 20 minutes of what happens. Ancelotti say, Okobo a technical method for. Aden Ancelotti, can be actually so soon for. May the Madrid have known, and Madrid and the Ancelotti no, and your Madrid of possession team. Madrid and your built on paper. A direct precision football. Very quick transitions. Near quarter-final third. Of course, Vinicius of Chelsea to America. Mbappe Chelsea to America. Jude Bellingham best supporter as a cast. Why are you keeping yourself on the ball? Say, Obaba say Bios. Obaba Juan Modric. Yeah, mama Midfield no, your story no. Whatever Midfield
say obeso the Valverde ba middle no. Na fe we about benya to say mama nyina so na menhwe ne yema.
But your mama say asem we say before abedru ho no.
So obeso obo Ceballos there ebe start because from last game league no free bench ba after so I recover. So Ceballos ebeba. No or the Bellingham aka no. And son of Valverde so no no ye three no. Attacking trial ne ye Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. And Wontumi Rodrigo nso from the Madrid ebe come mid down on said be ya on be timi almost Arsenal weapon here when with the ball. So Arsenal without the ball hunye hu. Sana Madrid from the so many.
And my can see so but that's baby at Madrid. And the Arsenal how be hu more without the ball. A sin on the ball.
How?
And Timmy the Corinthians Ancelotti go for the ball. And the Arsenal will go with a very deep block. I'm a B man about a mid block. Now deep block and mid block no o combine at the person say my jai ball no the amount of ball. So now what can so ball?
Yeah.
But maybe space in here because you are fighting for two things on the field. The ball and the spaces. You have the ball, you need space to progress and thrive. Ball no crowds up one no space be the better honor to me and function with the ball. So sometimes you defend in two ways. You press or you create blocks. Block near mid block or deep block, whatever low block you want to create. Or over 2 1 krom said on a PH mo no or 2 half or build the banner. Dortmund no person or Barcelona or 2 defenders no trust or be more pressure so that you can decide well on the ball. But whatever way it is, Madrid against Arsenal, no. Arsenal will thrive more without the ball. And especially when able to Asensio and a Fran. Ho ne Arsenal betina.
Alaba besa ko 3.
Alaba be wu ne.
Oh how?
Alaba be wu ne. Me both Fran say Alaba. Alaba is not in good form. And Arsenal for nti the making. Every time na me kra nim ni so ko hebo na Arsenal for do so say omo oba game no omo se tutuo omo se pay. Na me hu bi da Arsenal for no. Say o manu odinse Chelsea for na sasase ma bebre ni ntia. Ba bia mti. Tutuo omo nyina pay. Yaw. Whatever it is, mami nin komono na me nsam ne yapana me nua no mo ososo mram. Madrid game no te said ye wo kaka na osawo etwo. Na oye boxer. Obekata wanim ana obekata wayase.
O say Real Madrid game it is a day.
It is say oye boxer na wo two na wo kaka. So obekata wanim a katwanim ne ja wayase.
Na boxer the way dey nyatwo na okojira ring.
Say Madrid were deficiency won finfi ho. Ancelotti catch us all be solve deficiency no by moving Valverde from right back.
Na say Vasquez so be right back.
Vasquez ho na yetwo na make na wonhu ye no. So what moving Valverde from right back or Vasquez? Whoever Arsenal ever pair no with Vasquez and Alaba no. Ho na Arsenal on be dumo brunya. Arsenal and Madrid empire won finfi ho no ne. But another Angela abema Arsenal about game no apart from Alaba and Vasquez on no the set pieces. Most importantly, ball na you be floaty e dia basoro no. E na Arsenal for be nyom go ne. Ya o ti neti ni yi. Ba bia game no be fira ba na maduru so amedi wie no. Madrid goal no betimi aba from a major error. Error is see stage in a group or Champions League World Cup stage we platform no yekesia. Inexperienced defender Saliba mu nyina ebo mu di job so EPL no but level na fe na abi mu da mo pa. Ya boy Jakub Kivio ya bona baso this season am Arsenal a lot of depth. But Madrid be busa Kivio a lot of questions. So at the early stage of the game you busa questions would you implode? Are you cracking down? What I said about now, my catch Madrid when errors against Bayern, okay, Orich, McCowan, Madrid when errors against PSG, when errors, multiple errors against Liverpool, Nina man a bad game no. A better Arsenal prevent errors. Fatu team say make errors on one.
Arsenal, be a mistake.
Yes,
I'm a Madrid.
I'm a Madrid a capitalize Mbappe Vinicius mo be di decide no na Madrid dia Arsenal be game no yawo ye kobo corner ye bobo free kick ye bobo ball no e be in swing aba boundary box no e ho ene ye Arsenal bronya ne we no si nchen a ye ba bia Alaba da no ene ba bia Vasquez da no. Apart from this, what I will tell you is say Arsenal are not going to dominate or battle against Madrid with Finfi ho. Intentionally, Ponu na ne ho player meter Finfi ho bi. Arsenal and the Omo Meshe battle of Finfio. They will stay deep and come out on the counter. Stay on the ball, but baby at the ball urano. You commit more space, and that also becomes our advantage. Yo, me first call line to you because I'm disappointment and say, but the mechanic said me Arsenal qualification yen na me be catch. Oh
yeah.
Into my way hono. Buying Eko BM and answer could defend the idea. Already was show 2-1 will fee. Oh, qua away. I feel BM and now we are the idea. Now my catch back three system no the modern day attacking method a man for be brain here. But I cast a back for a man for be brain agonical defense. I do want Simone Inzaghi, you know. We can talk about any back three in the world. Tapsoba, Jonathan Tah, and Leverkusen the other
Copy.
Omo partnership watch no Leverkusen ko ani mu Bundesliga ni mu ko invincible. But omo bore mu Europe no. The final na Atlanta actually. But Osha Simonia, the Champions League final he played against Man City and the back three were developing a redesign, creating a lot of innovations within the back three. Don't the name was Christian and Slani. How Onya, Mkhitaryan, Chanoglu, Barella, Midfield, Onya, Kwaba Beremu. And look at how even Francesco Acerbi, 37 years, were the master of defense or Inter Chirono. And Macan was some the other day said Juventus. BBC no break it down with Bonucci, Chiellini, and Bazzagli break it down. I think Inter and also for because that was also another back three and Inter Milan assume Inter be progressing ahead of Vincent Company and in the buying.
Whoa, new me that say me ba meza last week okay say this week o day assembly be ba ma was a man for kai me say okay me binti